Trying to get the safety truck back behind the wall over there at turn number 2 so we can hopefully go green this time by for 50 laps. 50 laps again will be the distance.
He starts off. Mike Harris got the green flag. He throws it in the air, waves it like he just don't care. And we're underway for 50 laps. And Street Stocks, and we are already backing it on up. Jonathan Carnegie missed the shift back in the field. The field stacks up behind him, but everybody keeps on going forward.
Ledbetter will dive to the inside of Benton. He'll take second. Benton stuck on the outside lane. He'll get freight trained. He'll lose third. He finds a nice, comfortable honey hole to fall back in line to take the number 4 position. Benton slides back in line.
You know, the funny thing is, none of these drivers want to drive through the kitty litter before the race. And then here we go, going into the first corner. It looks like a dirt race coming off of turn 2 on the first lap. But out front, Greg Barnett's not fazed by any of it. He's got a pretty solid 5-lane lead, but there's a battle for second.
From 5th on back, however, you can throw a blanket over them. That parade up off of turn number 2. Side by side, Jonathan Carnegie working to the inside of Jonas Howard. That's the battle for the number 6 position.
Carnegie to the inside of Howard. Howard gets a little bit loose. Maybe that dirt helped. Maybe it didn't. Howard stays on the outside. Carnegie on the bottom. Carnegie's got almost no laps in these compared to a lot of these guys. This is all they do. Carnegie takes a spot. He's very quickly followed by Carl Lubno in the 7-1. Lubno scoots by. Howard tries to tuck in right behind him. Gets the charge by Matt Parker, but Parker can't do anything with him just yet.
Jonas Howard continuing to backslide as he's stuck on the outside lane. His car not wanting to grip the racetrack down at the bottom. For the moment, he falls back in line and rides in the number 8 position. So Howard trying to find a nice, comfortable spot to ride. Meanwhile, up front, it continues to be all Greg Barnett. Ledbetter follows behind, 5 out of 50 laps complete.
Kind of reminds you of a big late model race. You got the front 4 or 5 guys single file out, and then right back behind them, you end up with guys just about stacked up there right now. Richard Wayne Derrick sitting 5th. He's got Carnegie, Ludlow, and Howard all kind of right there behind him. One false move, Carnegie's going to pounce. He's no stranger to taking passes on this track. Maybe, you know, a little bit of a stranger to the car, but definitely not the track.
Top 4 able to separate themselves from 5th on back. And the challenge there, Ricky Derrick trying to stave off Jonathan Carnegie. Also getting racy in the 71 car. Carl Lubno.
Richard Derrick really doing his best to hold that car on the bottom, giving Jonathan Carnegie nowhere to go. Carnegie's trying to make that car pass up on the high side, not something Street Stocks generally do very well. He's got to be careful, though, if he moves up too high. Carl Lubno is going to go ahead and pounce on the bottom. Lubno can pretty much do what he wants at the moment. He's got about 3 or 4 lengths ahead of Jonas Howard, and Howard just looks like he's struggling on the track right now.
So Howard trying to find himself a comfortable spot. Still a long way to go. 40 laps to go. 40 to go this time by. Greg Barnett will click off lap number 10. He's got an advantage right now of just over 1 second over Ledbetter, who rides in that number 2 position. Matt Gussler rides 3rd. Benton continues to run in the number 4 spot, and they're still stacked up from 5th on back.
It really looks like Jonathan Carnegie's got the faster car. He's getting in the corner way deeper, but has to check up hard so not to get in the back of Richard Wayne Derrick. Derrick probably appreciates that a little bit. He's running a low line and really backing it down to the corner. Carnegie's got to check up every time and can't get the power off the corner as well as Wayne Derrick can. Richard Wayne Derrick holds on to 5th just barely right now, though. Have a little battle back in the field for 9th place. Matt Parker trying to hold off Bill Wicker. They had a little bit of a battle going on in qualifying as well. This time Wicker's going to make the pass on the inside. In European-style qualifying earlier, it looked like Bill Wicker was a little slower than Matt Parker, but now Wicker's got the upper hand. He's going to move into 9th place. Out front, you've already got cars going down a lap to Greg Barnett. Barnett's going to go ahead. He puts down the 50 car, Richard Lutler. Now, little Richard Hayden in the 13th spot. He's going to go down a lap as well from the old Hayden Racing family.
Well, if you're Hayden, you better be able to run. Sometimes quicker. Barnett leads as the field, the leaders from 2nd on back, work around some of the lap traffic. Hayden keeps his car down to the bottom of the racetrack. Ledbetter goes by, Gussler goes by, Benton goes by. As the leaders continue to set a torrid pace here in the early going. 15 laps complete.
And still that battle for fifth just keeps on going on. Richard Wayne Derrick somehow able to keep Jonathan Carnegie behind him. Carnegie looks like he could easily punt Derrick at pretty much any chance he wanted. He gets a bumper right to the 8 car almost every time. Backs off just enough not to get into him. But now that they're catching up on slower traffic, we're going to see if they can try to use that traffic as a bit of an advantage. In fact, here we go. Carnegie to the inside of Derrick, but they have the 17 car. That is Brian Matisse. Matisse uses almost as a pick by Derrick. Derrick stays on the high side. Carnegie's got nowhere to go. He has to go back up high. We're going to keep moving around the slower traffic. Just about 20 laps down so far. And so far, Jonathan Carnegie has nowhere to go. He's just kind of stuck there behind the 8 car, Richard Wayne Derrick. Carnegie that time coming off of turn 2 gets a little bit of a bumper on Derrick, and all that's going to do is check him up and send him back about 5 lanes. Derrick gets a little bit of breathing room right now, but he's still got a long way to go.
Going to have a caution flag come out here in just a quick moment. Greg Barnett on the backstretch will come around to turn number 4, and you should see the caution flag come out this time by. And indeed he does. The reason being, we're going to have to slow the field down. We have a medical emergency that we need to get the ambulance out of the infield. So the reason for the caution, again, we have a medical ambulance emergency. So that's the reason for the caution. So we're under caution for the first time. 18 out of 50 laps complete.
Good time for that caution anyway. Look at the backstretch, and it looks like Richard Hayden's got a big engine problem on the backstretch. He puts down a bunch of oil down the backstretch, a lot of big smoke. No free pass this time by on the track, and you're going to get that ambulance out of here. But bigger problems for Richard Hayden. Ton of smoke on the backstretch. His car expires going into turn 3. Well, you know what? You've seen it done here. You've seen it done at South Boston Speedway and a few other places. It's worked so well. Martinsville Speedway this year for their big late model race. Cone restarts.
So Greg Barnett will go to the bottom. Going to the outside will be Gussler.
Jonas Howard's going to give it a shot, too. Howard has not had a good run so far, and his car didn't look like it handled that well on the outside. But what do you have to lose from up there, you know?
Pace car will have to scamper back behind the pit lane. Field will be in control of the guy on the 8 car. That's Greg Barnett out of Goldsboro. Waiting for the restart. Mike here on top of the flag stand. Green flag goes in the air, and we're underway once again. Jonas Howard with a little kick in the shorts to the back of Gussler to give him the advance forward. He'll lead by a nose off the second corner.
Looks like Gussler got a good restart there. Man had Jonas Howard to help, but the side-by-side for the lead coming off of turn 4. A little bit loose for Gussler there. He's going to have a nose ahead, and he's going to be the leader on lap 19, or lap 20.
Typically, the outside lane is not the preferred lane to get around the speedway, but Gussler's making it happen. Shot out of a cannon, however. Here's Ledbetter. Nowhere to go. He looks outside. He dives back to follow the tire tracks of Barnett.
Side by side for second now as Barnett clears Gussler, and it looks like Kerry Ledbetter's going to have it clear before too long, but those three are way ahead of Jonas Howard in 4th. Still stacked up behind Howard for 4th. You got the 40 of Bill Wicker. You got Kevin Benton right there in the 0-1. The 8 of Richard Wayne Derrick, he's come to life all of a sudden, and they're all packed up back there from 4th on back.
Wicker washes way up the banking, kicks up a cloud of dust, opens up the inside lane for Kevin Benton. He'll squeeze down to the inside and take that position, which is the 4th spot. Wicker drop kick back to 5th, and that's where Howard is stacked up.
17 car Brian Matisse is on pit road. Looks like his main
problem for the race leader, Greg Barnett, off the pace. He goes high in turn 4. He's going to get freight trained at the start-finish line. The race leader, Greg Barnett, in trouble, and the caution flies for the second time in the race. 23 laps in to the 50 to make up the distance.
Flagman Mike Harris calling out that there's fluid under the flag stand, and as he said that, right in front of the scoreboard right there, Greg Barnett's car starts to go up in smoke. Tough break for Barnett. You had a little bit of smoke come off the car going into turn 3, and up it goes, and more oil on the track here to clean up. Although Matthew Gussler is going to stay to the inside this time, with Kevin Benton being the first car on the outside, expecting Gussler to take the outside after that good restart he had last time. The 40 of Bill Wicker is going to go with him, as is the 03 of Jonathan Carnegie, the 75 of Mac Parker, and the 82 of Mike Gano. Those of you late model fans, look on the backstretch. You see Michael Hardin joining the party here. He'll be racing this weekend as well. He's run well here all year. He's got a shot at it. Pace car's off of turn 4. Mike Hare's got the green flag in his hand. He's itching to wave it. It's in the air, and we're back underway. And Kevin Benton gets a good restart on the outside this time. Gary Ledbetter's going to hold the inside. They go through a whole bunch of kitty litter. They come off of turn 2, and Gary Ledbetter's got the lead by about a half a length.
Gutzler will follow his tire tracks and up to the second spot. Benton still in the outside lane. Inside being occupied for the moment by Wicker. They're racing wheel to wheel. Back to turn 1 for the number 3 spot.
Good job by Kevin Benton clearing the Wicker on the outside. They're going to be single file from first to fourth. Back for fifth, though. You got inside, outside. Richard Wayne on the Derek on the inside. Jonathan Carnegie on the outside. They've been racing seemingly all night, and here they are again, side by side for fifth.
Ricky Derrick trying to pick up the number 5 position, or rather the number 4 spot. He's up to 5th. He's got his sights now set on Wicker. Wicker in the 40 car. Ricky Derrick rides the bottom of the racetrack in the black number 8.
As the field comes by and takes halfway, you got Gary Ledbetter out in the lead, but he's got a mirror full of Matthew Gutzler and Kevin Benton. They're just about nose to tail first to third, and then it's about a half straight back to fourth. We have a battle for fourth place with Richard Wayne Derrick on the inside of Billy Wicker.
And Derrick will try to make it stick. Will pull a nose out in front of Derrick. Give the advantage to Ricky Derrick. He'll move up now to the number 4 spot. The battle for 5th is now on the backstretch.
And that very quickly pans on out with Carl Ludlow taking 5th away from Wicker. Once again, you see Derrick on the inside, almost checking up mid-corner to get that car to turn right. And now it's going to be the 7-1 of Ludlow trying to find a way past him. Derrick's got that car pinned to the bottom. He's been very hard to pass all night.
Top 3 nose to tail up off turn number 4. Gutzler gives a little shot to the caboose of Ledbetter, the race leader, moves him up the racetrack. Nose to tail, the top 3 in turn 2.
Gary Ledbetter's got the lead, but he's got a mirror full of Matthew Gutzler. Gutzler's trying to find a way by. Gutzler looked quick early, fell back a little bit, but here he is again, and he's all over Ledbetter. Ledbetter's got that car pinned to the bottom. A little bit tight off of turn 4, and that's where Gutzler's getting the advantage.
Matt Gutzler out of Virginia. Another shot to the back bumper of Ledbetter. Nothing doing. This time in the exchange, however, he may lose the number 2 position. Kevin Benton has thoughts of the second spot.
You have to watch out in these cars. They don't turn very well, and if you get into the back of someone, you're going to lose a whole bunch of ground. That's exactly what Gutzler's done. He's losing 3, 4, 5 lengths to Gary Ledbetter, and then he loses second place to Kevin Benton.
So Benton will move up to the runner-up position. Gutzler drop kick back to the number 3 spot. Ricky Derrick continues to ride 4th, and running in the number 5 position is Carl Lubno. Carl Lubno, the 71 car, runs in the 5th spot.
Good battle for 7th now is Bill Wicker trying to fight off a very hard racing David Foreman. Foreman's going to get a good run off of turn 2. He makes a pass, and he's going to move into 7th place. Out front now, it's just about 5 or 6 lengths. It's Gary Ledbetter. He's got the lead. He's got about 3/4 of a second back to Kevin Benton. Benton's starting to clear Matthew Gutzler by about a half a second as well. And then it's just about a half straight back to Richard Wayne Derrick. He's riding all by himself in 4th. And then 5th place is Carl Lubno. But he's got a hard charge, Jonathan Carnegie in 6th, catching up to him.
Kevin Benton patiently riding in the tire tracks of the race leader Ledbetter. 34 out of 50 laps complete. My math skills tell me 16 laps to go.
It's that Goldsboro education right there.
Thank a teacher. Field up off turn number 4. Ledbetter across the stripe. And it's Kevin Benton in hot pursuit on the backstretch.
They're going to catch the slower car of Ricky Locklear, and they're going to go side by side, 3 wide into turn 3. They come off of turn 4, and it's going to be Kevin Benton taking the lead. Almost looked like the 32 of Gary Ledbetter backed it off a little bit, so not in a wreck. He'd rather live another day than go ahead and try to force it.
So Kevin Benton goes to the top of the leaderboard. Ledbetter moves back to the 2nd spot. Gutzler continuing to ride a solid 3rd.
Kevin Benton's been running just about a 1/10.5 quicker than Gary Ledbetter about the last 15 laps or so, and every time by, Kevin Benton runs a 17.7, Gary Ledbetter runs about a 17.85. Every time by, it's going to be Kevin Benton just stretching it out a little bit. Unless Gary Ledbetter's got something to show. He's really loose off of turn 4 right there. Ledbetter's been getting more loose every time off the corner. He might be losing the handle on that car. Back for eighth now. Jonas Howard caught Bill Wicker. He's going to get to the inside. Gets really loose off of turn 4. Dives all the way to the inside, going into turn 1. They come off of 2, and it's going to be Jonas Howard with a spot. Kevin Benton's lead stretched out now. It's about 0.6 over Gary Ledbetter. And then it's just about a half stretch back to Matthew Gutzler. He just might not be that good on the longer run. These little short sprints, he's been doing fine, but with 10 to go, he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Field working off turn number 2, the race leaders. 5 car lengths between them. Ledbetter, for the moment, has to settle for the number 2 position, trying to cool his tires for perhaps one final shot and a run for the checkers.
It just looks every time Ledbetter comes off the corner of that back end, if you watch him, he's steering right to go left. That's never a good thing in one of these street stops. He's going to have a little bit of ground to make up, and with 10 to go, he's got a lot to go here.
Benton kicks the back of his car sideways off turn 4, 8 laps to go. Has 3 car length advantage on Ledbetter. Then they're beginning to close in on the back of the field one more time.
That might be Ledbetter's only chance. These cars generally play nice with each other, but this late in the race, if you're racing for position, you might not want to back off that much. If Kevin Benton catches somebody racing for position, Gary Ledbetter might have a chance to pounce, and that's all he really needs is one chance at this point.
Here they are closing in on the tail end of the field. It'll be Mike Gano, the first one to try to get out of the way of the leaders as they fight for the advantage down the backstretch. Benton will clear Gano. Here's Ledbetter working the outside in turns 3 and 4 and will lose a couple of car lengths in the exchange.
Taking 5 laps to go this time by. The lead is now over a second from Benton back to Ledbetter. And then it's almost 4 seconds back to Matthew Gutzler in third. A lot of slower traffic coming up, though, with just about 4 laps to go.
Cars slipping and sliding all over the racetrack. Race leaders now in heavy traffic with 4 laps to go. Just in front of them, they are completely sideways as the cars skate and skitter all over the racetrack.
We got 4 cars back there, starting with the 55 of David Foreman in 7th place. All stacked up right ahead of the leader. He's going to go! Contact on the front stretch, and it's their leader, Kevin Benton.
Kevin Benton, the race leader in heavy traffic, went all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Bill Wicker went low to try to give the leaders room to race on the outside. They made contact. Both of them had the inside wall reach out and slap them around just a bit before they come to a stop at the exit of pit lane. Hard crash for Wicker and the race leader, Kevin Benton. And his Thanksgiving All-Star Classic will come to an end 2 laps shy of the checkered flag. Tough break.
That's just what we were talking about earlier with the leaders catching up on the slower traffic, racing for position. You had Wicker look into the bottom, trying to get by Mac Parker. He ducked down low, and either his spotter didn't tell him that Kevin Benton was there, or something was going on. Came down, collected Benton, and they hit the wall hard. And once again, Gary Ledbetter is going to take advantage because of a wreck or some other kind of car problem.
Well, in order to finish first, you must first finish. 2 laps shy of 50 is not going to get the job done. Kevin Benton is out of the race car.
He does, as does the 05 Gutzler. The 8 of Richard Wayne Derrick, not been quick all night, but you know what? This cone restart gives him a shot to try and take the lead.
Can they get a good restart? Do they have problems on the restart? Anything can happen. Pace car working through turns 3 and 4. He'll make the hard left turn. Here they come up off the corner.
Mike Hare is going to throw the green flag right about now, and we're back underway. And this time, Derrick gets a good start on the outside. It hasn't been a lot of good restarts for Gary Ledbetter. He just about loses his spot, gets a little loose off of turn 2, but he's going to hold the lead coming off of turn 2.
Cars making contact at the back of the field after slipping wide. Here's 2 laps to go. The challenge is for the second spot. Gutzler working to the inside of Ricky Derrick. They're wheel to wheel in turn 1.
Whole lot of leaning, beating, and banging back there all the way through the field right there. Gutzler's going to get the spot from Derrick. Well, meanwhile, back for 4th is the 55 of David Foreman. He's going to take 4th from Jonathan Carnegie.
Mike Hare puts the white flag high and lets it fly. 1 to go, 4/10 of a mile. Gary Ledbetter has 3 car lengths on Gusler as they head for the backstretch.
Ledbetter dives it into turn 3. He's got plenty of space, nobody in front of him. He's going to take the checkered flag. Gary Ledbetter is going to be your winner tonight. Gusler takes second. Ricky Wayne Derrick way loose off of turn 3, but he's going to win or finish third. 55 of David Foreman fourth. Jonathan Carnegie rounding out the top 5. Heck of a race right there at the finish. You saw a lot of beating and banging. Mike Gano 8th, Jonas Howard 9th, and Ricky Locklear rounds out your top 10. Heartbreak for Kevin Benton. He's going to finish 11th. Bill Wicker 12th. Greg Barnett 13th. Brian Matisse 14th. Richard Hayden 15th. Terry Norton 16th. Heck of a race tonight for Gary Ledbetter. A little bit of tough going for drivers around him, but he's going to take the advantage. I'm sure he'll be glad to take the trophy and the check on home tonight. I'll throw it down to Alex Hayden down in victory lane.
With Gary Ledbetter Jr., who's picked up the win in the Thanksgiving All-Star Classic. Congratulations, Gary. Talk about peaks and valleys in a 50-lap race. Going to the front of the field, back to second, back to third, making your way back to the front. Describe the way the race went for you tonight.
It was pretty entertaining. Like I say, I was second, and like I say, lap traffic sometimes gets in the way, and I hate it for the 01. Like he had it covered. Like I say, I didn't have enough for him, and it's just you just got to save your tire. I got to get better at saving my tires and work on the car and get it better too. But it all, like I said, all worked out. Like I said, I like to thank my dad and Patrick Conkins, Crane and Rigging Corporation, Chat Lee Boat Marine, and all the fans and all the cars coming out, and it was hot, I reckon.
Great way to finish the season. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There we go, your winner, Gary Ledbetter Jr. We'll come back here and grab a couple of words as well with some of our other finishers. Matt Gusler, congratulations, man. Describe the way this night went for you, with especially the changing track conditions, with all the speedy dry that was put down.
Yeah, we come down from Motor Miles, so this is our complete Motor Miles setup. We're down on horsepower, and we've fought handling all day long, and I got to thank my crew. They really pitched in and helped me out. I really like racing here.
So describe, for these race fans who come out here, have never been to this racetrack, you're having to figure this place out. How tough is it to get a grip here?
It's really similar to my home track, which is Motor Mile. There's not a whole lot of difference. The problem is rules from track to track is what changes. Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, CD Hubbard, Gusler Fence and Service, Yoder Heating, ACDC Motorsports, RBR Race Cars. They've done a heck of a job with me a car. I'd like to thank my crew, Jessica, Brad, Lee, Bradley, Lauren, Ronnie. Just like to thank everybody.
So there you go. Solid effort tonight. Matt Gusler, Ricky Derrick was the top 3 finisher, as well as he's getting ready to get photographs made for the track, the website, and everything else in between. He's got his crew surrounding his Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Outstanding run tonight for Ricky Derrick. As the flash bulbs continue to pop down here, we'll get a couple of more photos in before we'll lean in here and get his thoughts on the way tonight's race went. Top 3 finish tonight. I guess survival is one of those words that comes to mind tonight.
Yeah. Man, this is the first time I've been at this track. I raced Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia. This is a wild track. I love the banking at this track. I got to thank the people that made it possible for me. I thank Jeff Sweeney. He helped me a lot this week to come out here. Gene Nichols, George Coleman from Cam's Racing Engines. I got to thank my dad, John Brown, Randy Akers, Big Dave for helping me earlier. I got to thank Robin Nichols, Gene Nichols' wife. I want to thank everybody here tonight. I know it's cold. I don't see very much people out here, but I'm sure they got a full crowd during the year. I'd like to come back next year. I love this track. I'm going to try to come back some next year and run, see if I can get me a win out of it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out and running with us this year. There you go. That's our top 3 finishers. The GNS Auto Body Street Stock Class coming to an end again. Congratulations to your feature winner tonight. That's Gary Ledbetter Jr. takes the win.